No warning, no time to prepare. In a twist that's left fans speechless, Cole has passed away, taken by a devastating illness no one saw coming. His death sends shockwaves through Genoa City, and leaves hearts broken forever. It began quietly, a fleeting sound, easy to miss, and even easier to dismiss. But not in Genoa City. Not in The Young and the Restless. In the April 24th episode, Cole Howard was seen coughing. Not once, not casually, but in a way that was noticeable, persistent, and deliberate. It wasn't loud. It wasn't theatrical. But it was there, woven into the scene like a silent alarm waiting to be noticed. To the untrained eye, it could be chalked up to travel fatigue. A little dust in the air. Maybe allergies, like Cole himself suggested. He even laughed it off, trying to steer attention away, a classic move from someone trying to minimize what they know is more serious. But longtime Y&R viewers know better. This show doesn't waste screen time. In the soap universe, especially one as calculated as The Young and the Restless, something as seemingly innocent as a cough is rarely meaningless. It's a signal, a breadcrumb, a setup, and the way the scene played out? The way the camera lingered just a few beats too long after that cough? The way the conversation paused, leaving just enough air for tension to settle in the room? That wasn't filler. That was foreshadowing, a quiet symptom of something loud coming. Something dangerous, possibly fatal. Which brings us to the terrifying question at the heart of this mystery. Is Cole Howard sick, truly, seriously, and secretly sick? If so, then the next twist could be one of the most heartbreaking this year. Cole Howard may be dying. Think about it. The pieces are all in place. Cole is in the middle of a redemptive chapter, reconnecting with his long-lost daughter, Claire Newman, working toward a new beginning with Victoria Newman, and stepping back into the complicated but familiar world of the Newman family. He's not just back, he's healing. He's making peace. He's finding purpose again after years of distance and silence. And in the world of soaps, that's usually the calm before the storm. Cole is finally opening his heart again, building bonds, saying things he's held in for years. And just when he starts to matter, just when he becomes central to multiple emotional storylines, that's when the ground usually falls out from underneath. That's the perfect moment for a tragedy. From a narrative perspective, Cole is the ideal character to lose. He's emotionally significant to Claire and Victoria, which guarantees a powerful storyline for both. He's familiar to fans but hasn't been overexposed, making his loss deeply felt but not creatively limiting. He's been written into a hopeful arc, and there's nothing more devastating in soap storytelling than cutting a hopeful arc short. And let's be honest, Y&R has done it before. They've hinted at tragedies through subtle symptoms, minor interruptions, vague comments, only to later drop a diagnosis that changes everything. Cole's cough could be the first sign of something far more sinister: lung cancer, a degenerative illness, or a sudden and aggressive disease that gives the characters, and viewers, very little time to prepare. The dramatic potential is enormous. Claire, just getting to know her father, watching him deteriorate before they truly connect. Victoria, finally believing she might have found someone to share her future with, only to lose him again. And Cole himself, realizing the clock is running out on everything he was finally ready to rebuild. A terminal diagnosis would ripple across Genoa City. It would force characters to confront unresolved emotions, family history, and the meaning of closure. And if Cole's health collapses just as wedding bells ring for Kyle and Claire, or just as he promises Victoria they can try again, the heartbreak would be unforgettable. For Claire Newman, the stakes aren't just high, they're life-defining. This isn't just a story about a father possibly dying. This is about a young woman who finally began to reclaim pieces of herself that had been missing her entire life, only to face the threat of losing it all again. After a childhood shaped by trauma, deception, and abandonment, Claire has spent years searching for something that felt real, something that felt safe. And then, almost by miracle, she found Cole Howard, not just her biological father, but the first person who made her feel like she truly belonged. Reuniting with Cole hasn't been easy. It's been awkward, emotional, tentative. But it's also been healing. Together, they've begun to write a new story. One where they move forward, not backward. One where Claire doesn't have to wonder who she is, because for the first time in her life, she's finally starting to see it, in her father's eyes. And now, that chapter may be ripped away before it's even had the chance to truly begin. If Cole is seriously ill, if he's dying, Claire may be forced to endure a second loss of the same man. A second abandonment, this time through fate instead of secrecy. Imagine the emotional whiplash. One moment, she's imagining a future with a father-daughter bond she never had. The next, she's watching him fade away, helpless to stop it. The guilt would be immense. The what-ifs would haunt her. What if they'd found each other sooner? What if she had said more, asked more, opened her heart faster? What if the man who could finally give her peace is taken before she ever feels it? This would be a defining trauma for Claire. The kind that doesn't just break your heart, it rewrites your identity. And depending on how she handles it, we could see Claire either spiral back into emotional darkness, or rise from the ashes stronger, but forever changed. Then there's Victoria Newman, a woman who has weathered more failed relationships, betrayals, and heartbreaks than most people endure in a lifetime. For so long, Victoria has worn emotional armor. She's run her family's empire. She's been fierce, composed, unshakable. But when Cole Howard re-entered her life, something softened. Cole wasn't just a familiar face from the past, he was a reminder of who she used to be. A reminder of love before everything got complicated. And slowly, cautiously, Victoria began to believe again. Believe that maybe this time would be different. That maybe she didn't have to choose between power and intimacy. That maybe, just maybe, she could build a life with someone who already understood her. Their reconnection wasn't fast. It wasn't flashy. But it was real. Grounded. Rooted in quiet, lived-in history. A kind of mutual understanding that only comes from having walked through fire, and still finding each other on the other side. Cole helped Victoria rediscover a version of herself that had been buried beneath boardrooms and battles. The woman who once believed in second chances, in real partnership, in peace. But if Cole is taken from her now, it wouldn't be just another heartbreak. It would be the one that breaks her. This wouldn't be a messy divorce or a cheating scandal. This would be death. A permanent, devastating loss of the man she finally thought she could trust again. The man she was building a future with, brick by fragile brick. Victoria might not just grieve him, she might shut down completely. Retreat. Harden. Or, she might rage. Because The Young and the Restless doesn't just tell love stories. It tells stories about what happens when love is ripped away. And if Victoria loses Cole now, we could see her spiral into a version of herself we've never seen before, raw, untethered, and emotionally exposed in a way she's always fought to avoid. Cole's death wouldn't just affect Claire and Victoria, it would ripple through the entire Newman family. Nikki and Victor would rally to support their daughter and granddaughter. Nick and Adam, who have already been entangled in personal and business conflicts, could find themselves pulled deeper into family tension. And Claire? This tragedy could alter the course of her relationship with Kyle, depending on how the timing of her grief intersects with their future plans. And let's not forget, Claire is still a wildcard. She's been trying to stay grounded and build a new identity, but if she loses Cole, could she slip? Would she retreat into herself? Or lash out in ways that surprise everyone? As more clues surface and the storyline builds, The Young and the Restless may be preparing us for one of its most emotional moments of the year, Cole Howard's farewell. Will his mysterious cough turn out to be something fatal? Is a terminal diagnosis just around the corner, a bombshell that will leave Claire, Victoria, and viewers reeling? And will Cole's death be the event that redefines multiple lives in Genoa City moving forward? If the writers do go in this direction, we're in for a storyline filled with grief, reconnection, and emotional fallout that could reshape the Newman family for years. Tell us in the comments, do you think Y&R is preparing to kill off Cole? And if so, how do you think Claire and Victoria will cope? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because in The Young and the Restless, no one is ever truly safe, and no goodbye is ever simple. Stay tuned. Cole's fate may be sealed, and the next twist could break everyone's heart.